And we are live. What's good, Josh? Your man, Dale Saint. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Y'all know what it is. I really want to know podcast, man. Hope y'all doing well. Happy, what is it? Wednesday. Happy Wednesday. It's hump day, y'all. It's hump day. So yeah, we're gonna jump on here, man, do a live. I've been doing shorts and I've been, been uploading content. Hope you guys had a chance to check it out. Let me know what y'all think. Definitely hit those comments so I know what it is. But yeah, I wanted to jump on for a little bit, just real quick here, and talk about some more of that PBD Andrew Tate interview, which has, and I want to say 8 million views, 8.2 million views and counting. That's in 48 hours, bro. That's 2 days. So shout out to them. You know what I mean? Shout out to PBD uh Valuetainment. It is what it is, man. I believe in their vision. Who knows what might happen, but I'm gonna have to go down there and have some conversations with my people over there at Valuetainment, man. Shout out to Patrick Beck David, the whole team over there, man. Vinny, Adam, Jedediah, Tom, Mario, like the whole crew down there. So many. I'll be here for an hour trying to name them all. Shout out to them. They're doing great work over there. I ain't gonna lie to them. I ain't gonna lie to you. They're doing great work. Um, and shout out to brother Michael in the house. What's good, fam? How you feeling, bro? Thanks for coming through. Thanks for throwing it in there. You know what I mean? And he says Andrew and Tristan Tate had an emergency meeting. Yeah, that's out there, man. I saw that. I saw a little bit of that. The fact that they did an emergency meeting tells me that they're not too concerned with what's going on. Um, Best believe their legal team would not have them do that if they thought that they was going to have some issues with that. Of course, they were still careful exactly what they said. But I believe it's winding down. Charges were dropped. There's all sorts of things. Things have changed. I think it's winding down. I ain't gonna lie to you. Maybe the Romanian authorities are looking for a nice exit strategy, trying to piece it together. The Tates really don't seem to be worried, but who knows what's going to happen? You just don't know what's going to happen when you're dealing with, you know, a country. Dealing with a judicial system. Again, I've said it before. I said it many times. If I were in this situation, I'd be greasing the wheels. Like who needs to get this bag so they can all go away? Everybody's gonna get really nice Christmas gifts. That's what I would do because I really don't think they have anything on them. If they did, they would have proceeded a long time ago. It is what it is. Michael Francis is even talking about Andrew Tate and what's going on with Andrew Tate and how the world has vilified him. Half the world, not even half. There's a group of people who have vilified him, and then there's a lot of people who are like, "Yo, this isn't cool." Um, I might even kind of react to that. I was looking at that today. I might even react to that, and it is what it is. So we're gonna get into it. Sister Candace is in the building. What's good, sis? How you feeling? Good to see you. Good to see you. No weapon formed against me shall prosper. Somebody preaching. The Tate brothers are God-fearing men. They will be back. Yes, they are, man, Christian and Muslim. So yes, it's amen and inshallah. You know what I mean? No weapon formed against me shall prosper. That's what's up. Brother Knightish is in the building. What's good, fam? What's good? Salute to you, my brother, man. Always a pleasure to see you in the chat. So hey guys, I wanted to talk a little bit about again that 5 or 4 hours and something that was published of the interview. Is really over a 5 hour long interview, but we haven't seen the deleted footage yet. But I wanted to talk about some of the things that Tate was talking about, and there was a portion of the interview where Tate was talking about being competitive, and what the workplace of the future is going to look like. So I kind of wanted to react to that. Good stuff. Because even while he's going through all this, even while he's dealing with what he's dealing with, him and his brother and his team, they're still trying to get information out there. They're still trying to do what they set out to do. Like him or hate him, yes, he says some wild stuff, but he also says some very thought provoking things. and things that make sense, things that young men should hear, young men should know. He does. I mean, it is what it is, right? It is what it is. And I go through it with some of my people, like, well, okay, yeah, he might have said a couple good things over here, but all this other stuff, it's like, man, I don't care about all the other stuff. You know what I mean? Honestly, you know what I mean? And like, it's most people who got a problem with Andrew Tate has only seen clips. They have not sat through the hours and hours of content. And it is what it is. There's people out there who'll tell me about, you know, you don't like this particular YouTuber, but go back and watch all their content. Like, bro, I ain't trying to watch their content. You know what I mean? It's like, won't you clip some stuff you want me to see it, send it to me? I'm not watching their content because it's about communication. It's about, you know, how you handle yourself and stuff like that. And again, if I get an opportunity to meet someone, if I meet someone, like I'm there in real life, I'm in their orbit, I'm close. We're like, you know what I mean? We're close to each other. And I decide, you know, I'm just kind of checking you out. I'm like, I don't want nothing to do with you. I don't want nothing to do with you. You know what I mean? And if I decide, you know what, you seem pretty cool, let me holler at you. And I holler at you and I'm like, all right, yeah, I'm digging what you have to say. Then I'm with you. That's just the way I am. Even people closer to me know that. They're like, oh, either he's with you or he's not. That's me. I'm one way or the other. I guess that makes me Sith, right? I guess that makes me the Sith. So, you know, when you see me, it's
join me, and together we can rule the galaxy.
You know what I mean? I guess I'm Sith, but it is what it is. That's how I look at the world. Is there some gray? There's a little bit of gray there. Yes, there's a little bit of gray, but for the most part, I can tell pretty much up front when I meet you what kind of person you are, man. I'm looking at the content of your character. That's it. And it's not just, you know, like it continues to go. If you do something down the road that I'm like, yo, I can't get over that, then I move on. It is what it is. So, like I said, someone like Andrew Tate, man, I was in his presence. We shared words. We sat, you know what I mean? We talked. And I was there to observe what was going on, not just him, but his people. And when this all came out, I said it like, bro, I don't see it. Just doesn't make sense to me. I don't see it. Is it possible? Yes, but I don't see it. And you see now that all those charges have fallen away. They've been dropped or modified or whatever. And the Romanian authorities are up against the deadline. They have to do something by the end of this month, according to their law. And then what's happened? UK, right? The Brits have started some sort of thing that requires some sort of court. Their judicial system is getting involved. Isn't that funny? So, like I said, if I'm a betting man, I'm betting right now that everything is gonna go away in Romania, and then the Tates are gonna, of course, deal with whatever's going on in the UK. That's a lot. There's just a lot of people coming after these dudes. It's a lot of people coming after these dudes. And why? At the end of the day, what are they really preaching? What are they trying to do? They're trying to motivate young men to be men, young boys to become men. That's all they're trying to do. I mean, are there other things out there? Sure. But I'm hearing what I'm hearing. If people are hearing something else, send it to me, bro. I've talked to folks out there like they hate them. These guys are so evil. And then you ask them why or what is it? And they say something, they talk about some clip and then you show them something else. Well, here's the entirety of that particular clip. Here, look at this. And they'll look at it. Well, there was this other thing too. And you spend the next 20 minutes just showing them stuff like, well, here's the rest of that clip. If you want to, look at this. So how do you feel? Well, I still don't like him. All right. You know what I mean? All right. But should we lock you up because somebody don't like you? Well, I mean, I'm just saying. What are we? I thought this was freedom of speech. I thought people were about that. You really want freedom of speech? Do they? Maybe, maybe not. But, we'll leave that there for now. But let's get into what's going on with this particular this clip. And Brother Mike's like, yeah, hit the damn like button. Please do. Please hit that like button if you don't mind. If you'd be so kind as to hit that, I appreciate it. But let's get into this, man. Tate was talking about being competitive. This is the PBD podcast interview with Andrew Tate, which came out a couple of days ago, 2 days ago, right? 8 million views already, yo. 8 million, man. Shout out to them. So, and that shows you there's a lot of people interested in what Andrew Tate and Tristan Tate have to say. Right? At least 8 point something million people right now are interested, and that number is still growing. That's only in 2 days, 48 hours, bro. So, let's check this out. They were talking about being competitive, and in this particular we joined the conversation. We was talking about his brother and why he lives with his brother, and the reasons behind that. So let's check this out.
Neither of us could be us without the other one's polar. And that's why we live together. That's why we'll always live together. I've had a lot of like women try and say, why do you still live with your brother? Why don't you want to live with me? And I try and explain to them that, one, I don't think I can be my most competitive without him. Two, I'm most emotionally stable with him. I like the idea. I'm most competitive with him. I'm my best version of me. If it doesn't matter if I have to go into a fight, doesn't matter if I have to run a business, I'm better with Tristan by my side than I would be by myself. And three, my ideal family life, even my ideal family, the way I live my life now, is very much more like a clan than a nuclear family. I like me, my girl, my kids, Tristan, his girl, his kids, my cousin, his girl, his kids. I like this idea of lots of people. I like that. I like that feeling. So girls say to me, well, you don't want a family. Like, no, I want a family bigger than you want. I just don't want to just sit with you. I want a lot of people around me, and I think it's better for that. And I think it's better for the children, especially. Also, I think they enjoy it more. But yeah, I've got the best brother on the planet. I truly do. And this is why I'm saying some of our best days of our lives are in jail.
I was going to ask you that. You guys live here in this.
So what he's saying right there, man, makes sense. I mean, and people used to live that way. Villages used to sprout up like that. You know, you would have just huge chunks of families, like brothers, sisters, cousins, and then all their kids. And they were all, you know, not in the same home per se. Sometimes they did, but like, you know, in the same compound, you know, on the same block, in the same village, in the same town. You know, yes, you have that. And I ain't gonna lie to you, growing up, I said it the other day, my happiest memories were times I spent with my cousins, growing up with my cousins. Like, you know, we were just in the world doing what we was doing, but we did it together. When I look back on my childhood, that's what I'm thinking of. Cousins. I mean, and we didn't live in the same house. Well, I mean, at one point we did, you know, like my mom and her sisters and all their kids, we were all in grandma's house at one point. And then, you know, we move out and start to branch out or whatever, but we would all come back to grandma's house, and it was all that neighborhood. It was all that street, right? In Cincinnati, it was that street. And, you know, that cul-de-sac playing with our, you know, it was grandma upstairs and then our great uncle downstairs, you know, with our aunt and our cousins down there. And they were older than we were. So when I think back on my childhood, I think of that. So I hear what he's saying, having that big clan. That makes sense. That makes sense. When something goes down, everybody gets together. It's not just the men and the town folk, men, but it's your family. We sit down, you're going to break bread and come together and celebrate, you know, special occasions and holidays and stuff like that. It is good for the kids. It is, you know what I mean? And I'm glad that the brother was able to do all that. And then going through all this stuff that he's going through, his brother's right there going through it with him. Man, you know what I mean? It is what it is. Scam Likely's in the building. What's good, Dusto, bro? How you feeling? How you feeling? Brother Dino Dinosaur is in the building as well, bro. Yeah, I knew you was gonna come with the info, bro. Brother Dino Dinosaur is like on 12 June, all 4 suspects were called into headquarters of Romanian organized crime unit to be informed on new allegations. Trafficking of adults carries a prison sentence of up to 10 years. Yeah, a lot of counts were dropped. A lot of stuff was moved around. I guess that's part of their system. The Tates came out of that meeting happy. Like, Andrew ain't really good with his poker face, bro. He came out grinning ear to ear, very playful. You don't act that way. You know what I mean? When you get bad news, you don't act that way like, oh, we're going to redo these counts and y'all finna, you know, y'all looking at 25 years to life. Nah, he came out of there like, bet. So, and again, I could be misreading it. And then they came out of that meeting and then they did a live. They went on. So they're even doing more video. And again, if you're under indictment, if you're looking at something for real, the last thing you want to do is turn on the camera, right? Last thing you want to do is what Donald Trump did. It's the last thing you want to do. And keep in mind, we did not see nor hear from the Tate brothers for a very, very long time. Of course, they were locked down. Then when they got the house arrest, we didn't hear from them. Like, we didn't see them. It was some, you know, maybe some tweets, but we didn't see them for a very, very long time. They're just now recently starting to come out. The BBC interview, Valuetainment interview, and then they just did their own emergency meeting. So again, I'm reading that in a way that, like, man, they're not worried about this case. You know, that's how I'm taking it. I could be wrong. Brother Dino continues. Prosecutors also said they had opened a separate criminal investigation against a Romanian man named, Vlad Obzik, who they say was close to the Tate brothers. I heard that as well. Again, I'm basing what I'm saying on their body language and the way they were, you know, I mean, conducting themselves post that meeting. But hey, man, like I said, man, we don't know. It's they still doing what they're doing. Uh, um, and this guy, Mr. Abzukic, is facing allegations of human trafficking and forming criminal crime group to grown-uply exploit 7 women. I'm trying to keep it YouTube friendly. You know, they looking for any reason to yank my little channel. You know what I mean? They're trying to tear us down, bro, with our little hot 1400. So yeah, I mean, we're seeing these things, but again, their legal team is like, yeah, go ahead and do this video, or go ahead and do that interview, go ahead and do that interview. So I don't think they're worried about this. We'll see how it plays out. I mean, I could be wrong. They could come in there tomorrow, you know, and pick these boys up and put them back in jail. That's what it is. Sister Candace, Trump was wilding. Yeah, Trump, he out of his mind. I guess they probably sat him down and told him, like, bro, you ain't getting out of this. I think his lawyers before they jumped ship was like, look, bro, Trump, you through, man, you doing time. It ain't a matter of if you doing time, it's how much time you gonna do. So I suggest you start talking to some people about a pardon. That's probably what they told him. He's like, I ain't got nothing to lose. So Trump probably just going out there acting a fool. I mean, he's already done, man. They got him on tape, allegedly. They got you on tape. The transcripts are out there. You saying on tape, I know these documents are highly classified, and I did not declassify these documents because I wasn't president. I could have if I were president. That right there, I mean, honestly, I don't even know. You know what I mean? Like, what do you say to that? Like, hey, bro, what are we gonna do with this? That's like walking in with a truckload of product and walk not to an undercover cop. That's like taking it to the police headquarters and just bringing in duffel bags worth of product and throwing it right there with all the cameras on. Say, hey, man, I got this. I don't know what he was thinking. I don't know what he's thinking. Sister Can's like, he sure can capture an audience. Yeah, he can. He sure can. He's gonna be, you know, he's gonna be holding court in somebody's institution, bro. Because I really think they're gonna lock him up. I don't know how long he's gonna stay locked up, but yeah, I think Trump's gonna sit down. We're gonna talk some more about Donald Trump and what's going on with that. We're gonna talk about Joe Biden and the alleged $5 million bribe when he was vice president, which, yeah, I think it's possible. Yeah, I think it's possible. They can prove it. They're gonna get him too. You know, we gonna talk about it. I'm just curious how it's gonna affect, you know, American politics moving forward. We'll see. Brother Doug is in the house. What's good, fam? Good to see you, bro. Good to see you, man. So yeah, we just over here talking about Trump. So I mean, Trump. We were talking about Trump, but we're here to talk about Andrew Tate and his take on what, you know, being competitive in tomorrow's marketplace. So he was just talking about his brother and how his brother's sharp is. I get that. I'm real close to my cousin, real close. And when we were together, when we were in the same space, yeah, it did drive me having, you know, being under the same roof with my cousin. If he got up and did something, I had to get up and do something. I couldn't just sit back and not do something. Same with him. If he saw me getting up working, getting up doing something, he gonna get up and do something. No matter how late we were out, no matter what we were doing the night before. When you by yourself or you with your woman or whatever, it's not the same. You don't have that driving force. And I understand what Tate's talking about, and it makes complete sense to me. I mean, look at these dudes. They started with nothing. Real talk, nothing. And now they're multimillionaires. Can't even argue that. All right, they're millionaires. Even if you want to argue they're not worth hundreds of millions of dollars, they're worth millions. They built that up for nothing. I'm here to tell you, it's hard to build up that kind of wealth, guys. So, and they're saying, you know, Tate's saying, this is how I did it. I did it with my brothers. My brother pushing me, and you know, it's just that balance. That's, you know, like they say, steel sharpens steel. So shout out to them. Brother Doug is like, yeah, Romania upgraded some charges recently. Yeah, they did. They upgraded some charges. They dropped some charges. They did a lot. We're going to see exactly what that means here over the next couple of weeks, right? Because they have to do something by the end of this month. They have to do something according to their rules, their regulations. So, and then UK has filed some sort of charges against the Tate brothers. So once this is over, the Tates are going to have to deal with the UK courts somehow. I don't know what the extradition laws are. I don't know how that plays out. I don't know what type of case it is. I don't know if it's a felony versus misdemeanor. I don't know anything about, right, the laws in UK. Brother Diano could tell me about it. I don't know how that works. It's not like it's here. So we'll see how that plays out. But again, Andrew Tate seems real pleased with what's going on right now. Real pleased. You know, Tristan, his poker face is always on. He's pretty much the same no matter what. But Andrew, you can see the swings, you know what I mean, in his demeanor. And right now his demeanor seems pretty cool. So, but yeah, let's get back to the video. Check this out.
It's compound. It's an amazing place. I was going to ask you, you kind of just answered it, but you foresee yourself living with your brother the rest of your life?
1,000%. 1,000%. I can't imagine not wanting to live with Tristan. If you want privacy, you have privacy, right? We have a big house. So it is what it is.
On one wing,
yeah,
he's on the other wing.
It is what it is. But I can't imagine him not being around. If there's a problem, I just shout his name, or I just can't imagine it. And I know I'm my best self. Also, there's the overall male competition, the masculine competition that exists between us and between all men. So we live currently here. We got me, my brother's personal trainers here. We got camera guys here. We got war room guys here. We got loads of guys here. But I can give you a million examples. There was a record set next door of a gym, and there's a stair machine, and there was a record set of 188 floors within a time frame. I came along and smashed it with 198. I only held the record for 45 minutes because someone beat it with 202. As soon as the record's beaten, everyone gets pissed off and puts their trainers on, puts their shoes on. As soon as it's beaten, everyone gets mad. Who beat it? Who beat it? And everyone goes and did it. And that's how you push yourself to the level you never thought you'd be able to push yourself.
202.
202 floors in 30 minutes. Good luck.
202 minutes.
No, that's what that was beaten with. Now it's 222. The beaten again. I don't know if I'll ever get to that. But I'm still 198. I've got to try again. But the point is, when you have men around you, there's that natural masculine competition, and that's what drives you. If you're going to be the best version of yourself, even if you're a boxer training for a fight, you train with a team. You train with other boxers. You train with other boxers or other trainers. If you're on a football team, you're pushed by your team. I think life should be the same, right? Imagine you took the normal average man and you moved him into a house of 5 people, and you had a philosopher and a fitness expert and a hypnotist, whatever it was. That will make him a more competitive person overall, because he's trying to compete with all the other people who are on his level. You don't want to take bitch position. So
you can't fault. I can't fault his logic. I can't fault it. It makes sense to me. It makes sense to me. And I was writing a note when he was talking. You know, here in America, I don't know about you guys, but where you guys are, but you know, where I grew up, we were taught to get out of the house as soon as possible and do it on your own. Like get out there, get your own, and then you meet somebody. Maybe you start a life with that person, that woman, or whatever. You start a family, but it's you, the man and the woman, and then y'all kids. But what he's talking about makes complete sense, because you can still have your wife, you can still have your children, but also be surrounded by your warriors, your warrior clan. Your guys are gonna push you, and they're gonna keep you straight, because we're working on the premise that you're with solid men. Now, if you with deadbeats, you with criminals, you with men who don't have any moral bearing, just bad people, then you're gonna do bad things. But if you surround yourself with the best, right? When you go off and do something stupid, your people gonna stop you. Like, what you doing, bro? You know you wrong. You out here doing this and that. You out here chasing these little stupid 304s. What you doing, man? You got a wife and kid at home. What you doing? You ain't telling, you know what I'm saying? You ain't telling that's what you do, because everybody know what's going on. Everyone's there protecting the home. That makes sense to me. That makes sense to me. Like, again, say what you want to say about Andrew Tate, but right now, what he's saying, there's some young people out there who need to hear it. It might be some young dudes out there that's like, man, me and my cousin out here struggling, barely making it on our own. How about we come together? How about we come together? Man, let's come together, man. Okay, let's figure out how we're going to get into a property. We're going to buy a big house. Let's buy like a 4-unit. Fresh and Fit was talking about getting multi-families, man. Let's get a multi-family. And then we can live in 1 unit and rent out the other 3. And we can work even. Now you get in there like, man, this money coming, man. Let's work even harder so we can get another one. And then another one. As opposed to doing it the way I did it, man, let's go out and kick it. It's Friday, bro. You know, the old song, Just Got Paid, Friday night. We go out here and get it, man. Let's go chase these women. Let's go do this and that. Let's go do stupid stuff. Or even worse, when we was in the street, just kicking it on the block, you know what I'm saying, on the soil. You never know what's going to come around the corner. You out there like, man, we out here what? You never know what's going to come around the corner. It could be something bad. It could be drama, or somebody could come around the corner with hey, man, let's go hit this lick. I got this one dude set up right around the corner, man. Let's roll over here real quick. Take these. Because you in the bad spot. You're in the wrong spot with the wrong people. But if you and your people, your brother, your cousins, whatever, y'all decide to work hard and push each other, You know what I mean? And when it's talking about women, y'all gonna be watching each other back, man. You sure about shorty? I mean, yeah, man. What's up? What you know? Like, man, you know, your man over there, Rock, bro. He smashed. Now, you know what I'm saying? And they got look at this picture. Look what she doing. Yo, she doing OnlyFans, bro. You sure? You sure this is who you gonna bring in here, man? You know she gonna stop what we trying to do. So you're gonna get that, and that's coming from someone you know that loves you. It's coming from someone who's got your best interest at heart, and they are invested financially, and they in it. Like half this is mine. Like I don't want to lose this to some stupid girl. Man, get you a good one. And like when you got your crew, man, your guys will tell you when you messing up and you got a good one and you messing up. Yo, she a good one, bro. Don't let her go. Like, don't let her go, bro. You'll be a fool to let her go. Right? And you ain't got to worry about them trying to mess with your women. Bro, I'm telling you, it's like a whole nother world. I think he's on to something. I know he's on to something. Brother Dino is like, today, lawyers representing 4 women in the UK delivered a letter to Mr. Tate at his home in Bucharest. The claims date from 2013 to 2015. Yep, that's all out there, bro. And again, I don't know exactly what it is. It came from attorneys, so this might be a civil case. I don't know how the laws work in UK. I know how to work here, either criminal or civil. And if it's a criminal complaint, law enforcement's coming to see you. Someone from the police is coming to see you, or someone from the prosecutor's office is coming to see you. If it's civil, lawyers come. So I'm thinking whatever this is probably civil. You know what I mean? Sister Candace, like, we have to stop entertaining these claims, quote unquote, from decades ago. That's absurd. Yeah, I agree with you, sis. It is. Right? It absolutely is. This stuff comes from whatever. Somebody might come and, hit me with something I did back in 1982. It is what it is. If I start getting big, it is what it is. That's the world we're in now. You know what I mean? That's the world we're in. But man, it's easier to deal with this kind of stuff, the good and the bad. If you got, like he said, he has Tristan, his brother Tristan, by his side in his corner. You know what I mean? Like, I'm here to tell you, it's a lot easier to deal with stuff. Life was better. I ain't gonna lie. When it was me and my cousin, life was better. Man, we were just holding it down. Life was better. It's just our mindset wasn't adjusted to this. If our mindset was like this, we would have been getting into property and doing other kind of business stuff straight away. Yeah, it is what it is. You know what I mean? Can't cry over spilled milk. But let's continue.
I don't like the idea of my life without masculine competition. That's why I'll always say to my brother.
And if you met a girl one day who says, Tate, I want to have your babies live with you, but it's kind of weird that your brother's here, what would you say to her?
Yeah, a few of them have said that. I offer some degree of compromise. I'm like, look, we can have our own house separate if you really want, but I'm going to be spending a lot of time at that other house, including nights over. I want to stay with where my brother is.
So you would compromise a little bit, but he's going to be living next door or with you.
100%. And I don't think, and that may be unusual in the Western world. I don't think that's unusual in many places.
I love that, by the way.
Well, you talk about this all the time.
Oh, you don't even know how much I love that. Yeah, I love that. To me, as a kid, that was a dream. Like, if you could, right next to each other, there's a family in our community, billionaire family. They live right next to each other. The oldest son has the biggest house, 12,000 square feet. Then the youngest son has the second biggest house, 8,000 square feet. And the parents live in a 6,000 square foot house right next to each other.
Absolutely.
Okay. The 2 boys have 4 kids. The 8 kids are always together.
Absolutely.
What a great environment.
Absolutely.
It's a dream environment.
Absolutely.
I can't see how a person wouldn't buy into that, the benefits of it.
And there's also benefits to the relationship. Because I think you have a better relationship with your woman if she can go and talk with other women and be with women, and I'm with guys, and then you're together sometimes and you can split it out. It's better for everybody. This whole idea of just man, woman, boom, child bang, I understand where it's come from. I'm not saying it's all typically bad, but I do think that in those scenarios, there's a lot of men who are particularly miserable, particularly men, especially. And the idea of a clan and having that team around you, I love that. I wouldn't live any other way. I love living that way.
Well, being born and raised in Miami, there's a lot of Latin culture there.
Yep.
And the American friends, they just move on their own. That's what they do. But in Latin culture, the abuela's living in the house, the family's living in there, the women are all kind of congregated together.
We could also
it's a different world.
We can also discuss it financially, right? If you're a man and a woman and you have 3 boys and they're, let's say, traditional, Western, whatever, they all go and pay 3 different rents and they all move in with their girlfriends and everyone's getting wrecked, right? If you all stay together and combine your income, you also do much better financially. This is how a lot of immigrants even survived, especially Muslim immigrants in England.
I've heard you tell the story about that.
Absolutely. Yeah, they all stay together in one big house. They all pool their incomes. You have a bunch of people with average jobs and Ferraris on the drive. And then they buy the house they're in, then they buy another. You pool the incomes. If you all split and separate and just spread out, you're just paying all different rents, all different electricity bills, and you just go broke. You have to think of the last name and the generation and the clan as a whole. So yeah, I love the idea of living with my brother. I'll never live without him. And yeah, his woman can move in. Of course, his kids can be around me. Of course, I'm uncle. Why not? I have no problem with that.
That's a dream. Let's transition to a couple of the topics. So
that right there, bro. I think a lot of people should think about that. I mean, seriously, think on that. Especially you young folks out there. Think on that. It is hard and it's only getting harder. Right. And it's like Adam was saying, Americans, we're almost programmed. Like we get 18, we move out, we do whatever, we go get our own home, we get our own family started, whatever. But you're locked into that. You're locked into it. You're only gonna make what you make. And I mean, it is what it is. That's just how we were programmed. But then you see people coming over from other countries and you see other cultures and how they do it. He's absolutely right about the Latino culture. Like, I mean, the Latin culture, you go there, man, it's huge. Even when the kids move out, they're close. They come back. They go to grandma's house. It used to be like that in our family. It used to be like that. We go over grandma's house every holiday. You know what I mean? Go over there on Sundays for church and stuff like that. We used to go over there for every holiday. You know, Christmas, Thanksgiving. Family came in from all over. That's not the case anymore. And I think young people, especially young people who never went outside, like, this is something y'all need to think about. This is something y'all need to think about. Like, you know, stay with your siblings. Pool those resources and grow the family. Grow the family. So he's absolutely right, man. And like it's like Pat sitting there, like he loves that. He's like, man, I love that idea. I just didn't think about it until I watched. You know, I've thought about it, but I haven't given it deep thought until I watched this interview. I'm like, man, you know what? Damn, he's right. He's right. You know, I tell people all the time, I left millions on the table because I was out there doing what I was doing when I was in LA and working hard and doing whatever as an air traffic controller. But just imagine if I had my cousin with me. Yeah, instead of leaving millions, I probably can safely say I left tens of millions of dollars on the table. If I had my cousin with me in LA when I was there, when I got there in 98, absolutely would have done things differently. We absolutely would be sitting in different situations right now today. Right now, the both of us would be, I mean, paid. Like we're doing fine, but we would be doing way better. Easily 10x. Easily. It's just because you got someone there. Every time you're sitting there thinking about doing something stupid, you got your people like, nah, we ain't gonna do that, do this. Or they're about to do something stupid. Nah, we ain't about to do that, bro. Remember, we said we're gonna do this. And just, you know, continue to grow. Man, that's something to think about, y'all. That is something to think about. Brother Dino was saying the three women whose complaints several years ago were investigated by police, but never brought to trial, and a fourth woman who came forward more recently. Again, back to what's going on in UK. It's kind of crazy. Sister Candace, she's saying we talk about restoring fatherhood, yet we are taking two men away from his children. That was the saddest of realities from today's emergency meeting. Yeah. And I haven't watched all of it. But I'm gonna go back and watch all of it. I'm assuming that, you know, they had some. Well, they were talking about when they were taken away and had to sit down for all them days, being held without charge. It's crazy, brother Doug. True, the family structure and customs are dying in the States. Facts, bro. Facts. It really is. And you know, we talk about the have yachts and have nots. Yo, if y'all want to get a boat, stay together. Stay together and keep your family together. Keep it tight. Be smart. You know what I mean? That used to be the case back in the Wild West, man. You watch all those old Western movies, man. It was like the Wyatt Earps, like the Earps, like Wyatt Earp brothers' whole family out, and they were all lawmen. They were all out there, and of course, it went the way it went. But they all came out there. They all had their girlfriends, their wives, kids. They were all there as a family. All the Earp brothers were right there. And you know, maybe that's what people need to start doing. I mean, I think it's a good plan. Let's continue.
I saw a video by the president of Microsoft, Brandon. I think it was the president of Microsoft who said, you're going to see one of the biggest threats in the future being deep fakes. Okay. And then you saw a similar thing being said by Google, Sergey Brin. You're going to see what's going to happen with deep fakes. And then the example of deep fakes was given by the actress from Wonder Woman. What's her name? Gal
Gadot.
Gal Gadot, right? There was a deep fake porn made of her Then there was a deep fake video made of Trump. Then there's deep fake of Joe Rogan. There's one of Morgan Freeman. Hi, I am not Morgan Freeman. Kind of goes like this.
Wow.
So the direction we're going with deep fake, right? When it comes down to AI, where do you see the threat? Is that something you think about? Is that something you see as an opportunity, as a threat? And if yes, which part of it?
Yeah, that's a really interesting question. Deep fakes are certainly going to change the world, because what we're going to have is we're going to have a post-truth society. And then the only way they're going to be able to tell you what's true or not is some committee which decides what's true and what's a deep fake. And then they're going to be in charge of the world. And then they're going to lie to you. And then you're really in trouble. So that's going to be very interesting. Once you get to the point where, what did I say earlier about not being able to trust your own eyes? They're going to take that away from us soon. Then what? Then you're really in trouble. In regards to AI, I think it has to be adopted. Inside of my school, Hustlers University, we teach AI with absolutely everything. A lot of the images we generate, even on my Twitter account, is all AI. And what's actually scary about the modern world is, I don't consider myself old. I'm 36. But some of the children, I call them children, 17, 18-year-olds inside of my school, Hustlers University, they're AI wizards, and they can do magic with this stuff. Magic. Like, they can literally, genuinely, Andrew Tate on the moon, and the image is generated in seconds. Like, artists are going out of business. I thought AI would put truck drivers out of business. Artists are going out of business. Musicians are going out of business. It's kind of scary. I do like to think that with things like AI, there's always going to be some degree of natural separation between the men who are genuinely inventive and killers and the men who are more, let me change the way I say that. I think if you're an exceptional person, a truly exceptional person, you don't have to be afraid of nearly anything. But you'll probably agree with this. In my experience, in nearly every business in the world, you have 10% killers, and then you have a bunch who want the paycheck. They do their job, but I wouldn't say they're killers. You understand? Mm-hmm. And we live in a society for a long time where I didn't even tell you now, sometimes when I hire, I'll say to my cousin or to my COO, I'll say, look, either get one killer or 3 normal people. Because that's the reality. That's the basic. You either need 3 people to half do the job, or you need 1 killer to do the job. And I think that those 3 people who half do their jobs, enough to not get fired, they turn up most of it on time, but they're not really that motivated. Those are the ones who have to fear AI. I think businesses in the medium term are going to become killers and AI. I tell them now, I have some guys who work for me on one particular company and their sales staff. I was reading through the sales scripts. The killers doing really well. But the average guys have said, you're not doing much better than ChatGPT could do right now. I want to warn you that you're not doing much better than I can replace you with a machine today, let alone in 5 years from now, for free. You need to be careful. So I think it's just becoming more and more competitive. The idea that you can just be Joe Schmo, do your job, turn up, I don't try that hard, it's fine. I think that's all going to go out the window, because as the world becomes more competitive, as a company, you have to compete with your competitors. And the only way you're going to be able to do that is just, where do you cut the fat? Where do you cut the slack? When I see AI popping up and getting more and more intelligent in the way it's talking, that doesn't scare me. But I have a way with words. If I was Joe Schmo, I'd be afraid. This Chat GPT can probably text your girl better than you can. he'll probably get laid faster than you will. It's a little
advice for the guys out there.
Yeah,
right now.
Just plug it into your phone. It'll do better than you do. So that's scary, you know?
That's
and I think that's what the average man really needs to struggle. And I've been saying this has been my message for a very long time in all realms.
Bro, he's killing it. Now, I disagree with Brother Tate. And this is where I disagree. I think it's a wrap. It's just a matter of time before AI replaces all. I don't care how much of a killer you are. I don't care how hard you're working. It's just a matter of time before we're working for AI. Those killers will be working for the computers. The computers won't be working for them. But in the short term, yeah, I agree with him. You know what I mean? You can get, like you said, you can get 1 killer to come out here and just rock it out, or you can get three people who are gonna half-ass it. He's right about that. It's crazy. Brother Mandrell's in the house. What's good? My favorite Green Berets in the building. Yo, man, I'm coming over. I'm gonna check you out tonight, man. I know y'all going on. I'm gonna check out the show tonight, man. So y'all should all come over. When I'm done here, man, let's all go over to Black Man Unfiltered and check out Unapologetic with Mandrell and Shushu. Hey, Mandrell, what you got on the show tonight, bro? What you got on the show? If you're still there, let me know what you got on the show. But Tate's right. There are people out there who, the days of being a slacker, over. You know what I mean? The days of being a slacker are over. You're gonna have to step your game up. And that's what he's talking about. And he's saying, I'm talking to people, I got businesses over here, and it's like, hey, bro, you doing almost better than Chat GPT. I can go over here and hire this computer for free. to do this. This ain't stellar work. So, and then he's like letting people know, like, hey man, step your game up. Now, some people be like, oh, you're being mean. Like, nah, bro, just letting you know. Just letting you know, man, it's business right here. This business. And he's right about the young kids coming up. Man, they have the cyber world on lock. They know what they're doing. And when it comes to deep fakes, there's only one deep fake I'm worried about right now, and that would be deep fake Trump post trial or during his trial. Like, when he's dealing with this, this case, a deep fake Trump that comes out and says, go. Deep fake Trump that comes out and says, attack here, attack there. It's not him. It's not him. It's like a deep fake. That right there worries me a little bit. Like, man, what will happen? What will happen? And what would Trump do? If Trump's sitting there and someone says, hey, someone put out this deep fake of you and it's started something somewhere where it's getting crazy, would he come out and say that wasn't me? Would you have to pay him to do it? I mean, that's nothing. I ain't mad at him. I mean, he could do what he wants to do. He's like, I didn't do that. I had nothing to do with that. Y'all know I didn't have anything to do with it because y'all sitting here watching me, right? I ain't got no phone. I ain't do that. But that worries me, especially during that trial, especially with a lot of the rhetoric that I'm hearing from the Trumpers. Mind you, the Trumpers, that's not a big numbers, man. They're down to what, 15, 25% of what they used to be. But that's enough. This is America, bro. Hey, we all strapped. You know what I mean? We all strapped. Y'all see what I got over my shoulder. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna bring out that 6.5 Creedmoor. I think I'm gonna put that on the shelf and put the 12 gauge in the safe. I'm gonna bring out the 6.5 Creedmoor. But this is what I'm talking about. Technology has gotten to a point, AI has gotten to a point where it's absolutely taken over. And Andrew Tate said it about, it's putting artists out of work, it's putting musicians out of work, it's putting writers out of work. Look at the strike in Hollywood, right? AI is way better at telling stories than Hollywood writers are these days. Right? They don't create nothing. The ones at the top eating, you know what I mean? You got the ones who are real creative and starving. There's still good writers out there. There's still good storytellers, but they're not in Hollywood, right? So in UPS is about to go on strike. UPS is about to go on strike. Now, this might be the last major strike of Teamsters and stuff like that. Y'all know I'm pro-union. Why is this going to be the last one? Because pretty soon AI is going to be doing all the driving and all of the delivering. The people like the 1%ers who run UPS might say, all right, well, here's our opportunity, man. Let's see if we can get these drones flying. Let's see if we can get these, you know what I mean? Like, let's really put more money into R&D and let's get, these driverless cars up. Let's get the robots out there. That's what they want to do. And it sucks. But, when UPS goes on strike, I'm going to be right there with them. I'm going to go out there and walk on the line with them because I believe in union. And it is what it is. Brother Doug's like, dang, DL, you haven't crossed my mind, but you got a good point there. Right, bro. That's my fear, man. That deep fake stuff, man. That's my fear. That only because of what's going on and how historic it is, and bro, that's it, man. If you were, if you Cobra, if you're diabolical like that, if you're if you're the Legion of Doom, that's how you do it. That's how you kick it off. That's how you kick it off, bro. With that deep fake, that's how you kick it off. And what Tate is saying is like, okay, now people don't know what to believe, even with their eyes, and they have to go to people who say this is real and this is fake. Okay, well, who watches the watchers? Yeah, it could be very bleak. It could be very bleak. You know what I mean? This road we're talking about. There's a very bleak road. There's another road that's not so bleak. There's another road that takes us to the light. But which road are we going to take? Who's going to take it? Scary stuff, man. Let's continue.
I've said for a very long time that life for the average man is going to get harder and harder. It's becoming more and more competitive. You need to find more and more ways to stand out and be unique. And the only way to really do those things, unfortunately, as a man, is to suffer. And that's one of the reasons I'm kind of glad that God put me in jail, because if you look at anything that builds a man into a man, there's a degree of suffering. It's very hard to become a man and have a man who's respected and has stories and is capable when he only had a nice life and nice experiences. It's usually the things that made you the best version of you are usually the worst things that happen to you. So the demons I carry from jail, the fact that I can't sleep, I've had girls say to me, you can't sleep, you need to see a psychiatrist. And I said, absolutely not. I would be furious if a psychiatrist walked in here and took my demons from me. I don't care if they could fix me with a click, they're mine. And they were bestowed to me by God. And they are mine to deal with, and they are mine to fix, because that's how I become a better version of me. I would be furious if someone took them away from me. I'm glad I can't sleep. Good, I can train endlessly. That's why I'm bigger than I've ever been. I'll train I'm not going to waste a minute. But all the demons that have been given to me by God and all the problems that have been given to me by God are mine to fix. I would never, ever allow anybody else to take them from me. I'd be furious. If a psychologist came in and said, I could cure you, I'd say, no, thank you. I will cure myself. I don't care if it takes 10 years. I'll cure myself. That's my job. And I know that when that's done, I will be more mentally resilient than I ever would have been without jail. That's the whole point of it, right? So many men say, I want to be the man, but they don't want to suffer. They don't want to fight. And I don't understand why, because even if you look at a superhero movie, they tell you, even in superhero movies, they make it very clear. Batman's parents died. That's why he's Batman. All the bad things have to happen. There's no way to get there without the bad things. I get so many emails from people complaining about their bad things. And I don't have time to reply to any of them. But if I could, I'd say, good luck. Congratulations. Off you go. Of course she broke your heart. Of course you're sad. Of course you miss her. She's with me now. That's life. That's part of it. That's the only way you're going to get to that level of resilience. You can't become the man any other way. So yeah, I thank God for everything bad that's ever happened to me and all the demons. And I trust that he's not going to give me anything I cannot, in the end, decipher and deal with. In the end, I think it's a puzzle, and you decipher it and you work out the best way to deal with it, and you internalize the good parts, and you become a better and stronger and more resilient person for it. Mm-hmm. So I have to thank God for every single one of them.
Well, I mean, you got to go through.
Again, why would you want to shut this guy up? I mean, honestly, what he's saying right now, I want young people to hear, men and young women, young boys and young girls. Honestly, bro, you need that adversity. You need it. We live in an era here in America where people are like, no, everything's going to be fine. I don't want my children to have any bumps in the road, nothing. And then one day that child is grown and they don't know how, they've never dealt with any kind of adversity whatsoever. They're out here in the real world and they get rocks and they don't know what to do. They don't know what to do. Andrew Tate just said he thanks God for putting me in jail. He thanks God for putting him in jail. He welcomes the demons. And he's like, I will deal with my own demons. I'm going to work this out if it takes me 10 years. I'm going to work this out. And it's not just him on his own. He has his brother. He has his cousins. He has his clans, right? Those people to bring. He has tons of people. And they say God works in mysterious ways. So maybe he doesn't need a psychologist. Maybe someone else wants that. I want a psychologist. I want a psychiatrist. You know, Bill, I tell you what this guy doesn't want. He doesn't want the pills. He doesn't want the happy pills. You know, we're definitely a overstimulated society. You know, people are given, you know, medication at the drop of a hat. That's not good. Medication, you can just sit there and work that out on your own. Just work that out. Every time you get a little pain, you're going to go run to a pill. That's bad. That's bad. Every time you have a problem, you're going to go run to mommy or daddy. That's bad. Sort it out. Like when my daughter has an issue, I sit there like, well, sort it out. Work it out. Work the problem. What's your plan? He's like, my plan was to tell you. All right, well, that plan didn't work. What's your next plan? I'm looking at her like, what's your plan? How are you going to fix this? Because I'm not doing nothing. I'm not lifting a finger. You're going to work your way through this. This is what your children need. Want to call it tough love or whatever? I just call it love. I just call it guidance. I call it leadership. That's the problem with this country. Why are so many people drawn to Andrew Tate? Because they lack leadership, any real leadership. That's why. Why are these young kids drawn to him? Well, the young kids, you can argue because he's big and strong and he drives a Bugatti, right? He's on private jets. He has yachts and all the women want him, right? That's for kids. But, you know, young men, it's like, man, he's respected. He's respected. He's out here doing big things. And he's telling me to get myself together. Leadership. These young men out here are starved for leadership. That's all it is over here in this Manna Swamp. Over here is Red Pill World. Is young guys and men, some older men, looking for answers. They're looking for leadership. and Tate just giving you the way. Like, man, don't, he thanked God for being in prison. And like, and even when it comes to religion, I used to say this as a kid when I was real young. I didn't like what they were teaching me in church when it came to religion because it was too easy. I would say it to the grown-ups all the time. Like, this is too easy. You're telling me I could go out here and do anything I want to do? I could be as bad as I want to be, and all I got to do is ask for forgiveness and don't get caught in my sins? That's too easy. That's too easy. As a young kid, I was in my teens. I'm like, nah, I see it more as a quest, kind of like King Arthur and his knights and the quest for the Holy Grail, like that movie Excalibur back in the 80s. I think it was the 80s or the late 70s. Excalibur. Marion was in there. What's her name? Ellen Marion or whatever. One of her first movies, man, she was fine when she was younger. Whoo, she was fine. Brother Dino, what's her name? Helen Mirren. I think it's Helen Mirren. She was in Red. I mean, she's, man, she should be royalty. I mean, she's like an actor who surpassed all other actors. She's amazing. One of my favorite actors. Anyway, she was in that movie, Excalibur. But it was the story of King Arthur and his knights, and it was the quest for the Holy Grail, and it was hard to find. It was people were losing their lives. They were on this quest, and they had to do this. That's, to me, that was what I took. That was on my mind, right? As a young kid in my teens, I'm like, nah, it shouldn't be that easy. It has to be hard. You're trying to live this life that was, shown to us by the Son of God, by Jesus Christ. Whatever, if you say he's not the Son of God, but he was, like the Muslims say, that he was a prophet. However you want to look at it. Helen Mirren, thank you, Sister Candace, appreciate that. Right? However you want to look at it. Right? So it should be a quest. It shouldn't be easy. It should be hard. Right? If you believe that Jesus Christ was crucified and he died for your sins, it was hard. Think about what happened to him. Watch that movie, right? That what's his name did. Was it the prosecution of Christ, or the whatever that movie was? I forget the name of it. That was one of the most violent movies I've ever seen in my life. The Passion of the Christ. Mel Gibson's movie, The Passion of the Christ. If that's what you believe and that's what he went through, and it's like, well, he went through all that trouble, so I don't have to go through any trouble. Nah, that's not. I think he was showing the way. Like, it could be this difficult. Right? It could be this tough. I wasn't raised, in the Jewish faith, and I wasn't raised in Islam, but like I said, I've read the books, and there's suffering in all three books. It's never hard. There's trials and tribulations in all three books, and it's when you get into the Old Testament, God was always testing people. It's like, it's not easy, and that's what Tate's talking about. It's not easy, right? It's not easy. Sister Candace, Steve Jobs created the iPhone. He died, but the iPhone lives on. Tate's message will live on whether he is behind bars or not. Facts. And thanks, sis. You always come through with the info. Passion of the Christ. Yes. Mel Gibson. Yes. I had senior moments there. I couldn't think for a second, but that's the way I look at religion. That's how I look at the Christian faith. They were telling me what they were telling me just didn't make sense. Like, this is too easy. All I got to do is ask for forgiveness. So I go out here and do whatever I want to do. I could be the most evil person ever, and all I got to do is ask. That's too easy. No, I think the challenge is trying to live up to that example that was set. Trying to doing what happened to the early Christians, like dealing with what they dealt with. Wasn't easy for them. Right? So think of what the Jews have had to deal with. It wasn't easy for them. I'm pretty sure that it was all sorts of struggle within Islam. It's never been easy. So that was my thing. That's why I pushed back so hard against the church. Like, man, nah. And then I also saw the money and I saw what they were doing. I'm like, man, this I don't know. I don't know if this place is holy. You know what I mean? Or well, we have two drastically different ideas of what holy is. Right? But it should be hard. And then you draw the strength from that spiritual place, wherever it may be. Right? If you think that spiritual place is Jesus, if you think if it's God, if you think it's, Yahweh, if you think it's Mohammed, wherever you think it's coming from. You think it's coming from the universe, wherever you think it's coming from. But that's the standard that you should struggle to uphold and live by. And you're gonna fail. And you need to learn how to get back up and get back online and try to get that's the whole purpose to me, anyway. To me. So when I hear someone like Andrew Tate talks about struggle and he's thanking God for the struggle. Yeah, man, y'all go ahead and think what y'all want to think. Y'all go ahead. Y'all go ahead and think what y'all want to think about this man. But I'm listening to what he's saying. Right? I ain't looking at all this other stuff. I'm listening to what he's saying. You know what I mean? Y'all so quick to throw that stone. What did Jesus say? Let he who is without sin cast the first stone. We got a lot of people throwing rocks right now, bro. And I know y'all bad. I know the left is doing what they doing and the right's doing what they doing. Everybody's bad. Everybody. You know what I mean? Everybody. They mad at Andrew Tate for what he's saying, trying to get young boys to lead a certain life and be a certain person, to be a real man. Meanwhile, we got grown-ups out here telling kids that, okay, if you want to cut off your genitals and change your gender, that's fine. We don't even tell your parents. That's not wrong. Come on now. Come on now. And these people are saying that they're, well, we believe in God. Do you? So you saying God made a mistake? And I got to fix God's mistake by hacking off parts of my body or whatever, because that's how I feel. Man, stop that. Stop that. That's all I'm saying. But y'all already kind of vilified this man. Everybody throwing rocks at this man over here. Everybody throwing rocks at this man. Throw this man away. Put him in jail. We can't prove nothing, but just throw him away. But we're gonna protect these people over here doing this wild stuff, man. Come on now. It's too complex. It's very complex, and it's too difficult to be that simple. Like, just people want it to be simple. It ain't easy. Like I said, man, this man just thank God for putting him in prison. He thanked God for throwing him into a dungeon full of roaches. You know what I mean? He thank God for putting him in a place where all he does is hear suffering and suffer himself. That's what he just said. You know what I mean? Y'all got a problem with this man? I don't. Sister Candace, masculinity doesn't exist anymore because there is no distinction between male and female. Facts. We got Brother Viking in from the clouds. Shout out from the clouds. I see you, brother. Shout out to you. Thanks for coming through. So now, like, I'm not trying to put Andrew Tate on some high pedestal or something like that. And I'm not trying to say that people need to follow this guy as if he's the second coming. I ain't saying that either. All I'm saying is listen to his words. That's all I'm saying. Listen to his words. Let's listen to some more of his words.
Shit to be the shit. That's basically what it is. And by the way, what you're saying is not a hypothetical. You talk about being the average man. You see this play out on dating apps these days. Have you seen what's happened, especially on Instagram and on all the dating apps, Hinge, Bumble, and out there? The top guys out there are getting 90% of the women, whereas the bottom guys, I think the stats are a third of men under 30 have not been laid in a year.
If being average is not acceptable anymore.
At all.
It's not acceptable anymore. And it's not acceptable in the sexual marketplace, but it's also just not acceptable, I don't think, even in life anymore.
Period.
You have to diversify now so much to even protect yourself. The idea that you can just be a law-abiding citizen in a country and just work your job and be okay is gone. It's gone. If COVID doesn't prove that, I don't know what will.
Yeah.
Look at my situation. You have to diversify. You have to be smart enough that you have assets and friends and capability and lawyers and whatever all over the world now. That's the only way to protect yourself. You can't just sit within one jurisdiction and go, oh, well, but I don't speed, so it's going to be okay. I don't think it is. I think it's coming to a point where it's not going to be okay. And AI is going to make it harder and harder, again, for those average men. It's just going to be harder and harder. I don't think the exceptional men are ever going to suffer from AI. I think we're going to use AI.
Do you think this whole Neuralink that Elon Musk just got the approval for the patent? So now the sale is going to be, look, no matter what you do, John, you will never be like Andrew Tate. Yeah. But if you take this Neuralink GT500/Tate, you're able to get upgraded to his levels and think like him and outthink and do this and do that for only $49,000. If you put this chip in your head, and we'll offer this to you.
My mother always says to me, I'm glad I'm not young. And I'm starting to say that now. I'm glad I'm not young. Because I'm telling you, it's going to be scary, right? Because the world is hyper competitive. Every single thing in the world is competition. I don't think people realize I'm a hyper competitive person because I understand that every single thing I want, somebody else wants. The girl I want, other people want. The car I want, other people want. The house I want, other people want. The lifestyle, the jet, every single thing you want, somebody else wants. It's a massive competition. As a man, you have two choices. You either accept that as a massive competition and try and play the game, or you just try and pretend it's not a competition and live in perpetual failure. And it's going to become hyper competitive. The world already is. You're not going to be able to compete with a person with a computer brain. So you're going to have it because you can't compete. Then once you have it, then who knows? Can they turn it off? I don't know. Can they turn you off? I don't know. Can they inject the slave mind programming directly through the chip? I don't know. That's scary. I would never want to do that, but it's going to get to a point where you're not even a person without it. You can't function without it. You're a second-class citizen without it.
Competition then, though? What happens to competition then? Is it going to be whoever has access to the best technology, whoever has the most recent upgraded version of XYZ Neuralink chip?
Absolutely. It's going to become scary. I'm glad I'm not young. I hope it doesn't happen while I'm alive. I don't know. It's going to be an interesting world.
Does it inspire you to want to have more kids, or you're like, that's indifferent? I'm going to have the kids. I'm not worried about that.
I think in the 1700s, they're probably saying the same thing. The future's over and the future ain't that bad. So there'll be a way it will work out. I just have to instill within them the same values I have, and they'll find a way to work it out, and hopefully they'll be okay.
PBD, you always say the future looks bright. I mean,
Bro, that's heavy right there, y'all. That's heavy, heavy, heavy. Being average isn't good enough. He's right. Being average isn't good enough. And they were talking about dating and all that kind of stuff. It is global marketplace. The dating marketplace is global thanks to technology. It's a wrap. It's a wrap. I don't care where you are, man. You sitting in some little small neighborhood in Walla Walla, Washington, and the finest woman in Walla Walla, Washington, right? And you thinking, all right, she's here. I got her. There's no one else here. Man, she got a phone in her hand. She got the whole world hitting her up. It's possible. Is every woman getting hit up at every guy on Instagram? No. But if a woman wants to put herself out there to get that attention, can she get that? Can she garner attention from men all over the world? Yes. And that technology did not exist in the 1980s or the 1990s or the 1970s, right? It did not exist. It is hyper competitive. Like what it takes to say everything he wants, somebody else wants, include women, cars, planes, money, house, whatever, clothes, you name it. Whatever you want, somebody else wants it. I mean, and then, people in this country are being raised that everyone gets a trophy. They're getting raised that it's easy. They're being raised that you don't have to work hard. And guess what? Elon Musk is going to make it possible to where all you need is a chip in your head. And now you are as good as everybody else, if not better. So all you got to do is pay for this chip. And then boom, you don't have to work hard. You don't have to study. You don't have to sacrifice. You don't have to deal with pain of loss. You don't have to, none of that. Just get this chip in your head. That's crazy, bro. Like that's crazy. And like you said, all right, once the chip is in there, can you be hacked? Can they turn you off? Can they program you? Can they program you to be whoever they want you to be? Can they program you to like whoever they want you to like? Can they program you to pay extra on your taxes? Can they program you to say, you know what? No, I do want to be a donor. I don't want to keep my organs. Can they program you? Something to think about. I didn't think about that. I'm like, whoa, you get that link. Can they program you? Ooh. And then really, what is reality? Can they program your reality? You're no longer living the life you thought you were living. Now it's programmed. You're seeing what they want you to see. Do they get to watch your dreams? Do they program your dreams? Like this is crazy. And, do I think this is the end of the world? No, I don't think so. There's like Tate said right there in the end. And apparently Pat thinks this too. The future is bright. Tate's like, we're just going to have to raise our children in such a way that they're prepared for the future. But most people aren't raising their kids today. They're telling their kids everything is going to be fine. Everyone gets a trophy. Just get the link. Just get the link. So people need to get back to raising their kids. It's hard. I know it's hard. You're going to suffer. You're going to make mistakes. I know it. But, you know, that's what I think needs to happen. Sister Candace, the chip is the new vaccine. Hey. And it's one of those things. It's like, get this or stay in your miserable life. It is what it is. So you're in a position where you have no choice, possibly. Or you got to come up with the money. Only the people who can come up with the money could get it. Start raising the price of that chip. What did Pat say? $50,000. What if they raise it? Okay, this chip is $100,000. In order to get the chip, you got to sign away a portion of your life. And then be willing to be programmed. I mean, I could think of a lot of scenarios that are bad. I can think of some good scenarios too. I can think of both. So, man, I don't know. But we're going to leave it there. I just, I wanted to talk about Tate. You know, everyone says all these bad things about Tate or whatever. And people like, man, you something wrong with you, man. I can't believe you think highly of this guy. Man, I'm just listening to his words. Listen to his words, man. Maybe if people were just to type those words out and don't let you know it came from him and then put that out in a book somewhere, because people are like, you know what, this makes a lot of sense. Then the minute they find out this is what Andrew Tate said, they're going to burn the book. But if you can just strip away who said the words and just look at the words, and if it stands, it stands muster, like you can look at that thing and like, you know what, this does make sense, then it's cool. That's how I look at it. I'm listening to what he's saying. I'm like, yeah, bro, that makes sense. Yeah. But what if he done some bad things? Prove it. Like what if I've done some bad things? Prove it. That's all I'm saying. It looks like Joe Biden may have taken a $5 million bribe at least. Yeah. Do I believe he did it? Yes, I do. Wholeheartedly. Absolutely. Do I believe his son took money? Yes, I do. Wholeheartedly. Right? Can you prove it? Because if you could prove it, you could lock him up. Remove him from office and lock him up if you can prove it. You can't prove it, man, go on then. Because that's a very slippery slope. We're just locking up people we don't like. Right? Because my ancestors, it was a lot more than being locked up. My ancestors paid the ultimate price because people didn't like them, didn't like the color of their skin, didn't like them. So they went on and did all sorts of things to us. Slippery slope when you do stuff like that, man. We need that law. We need that burden of proof. We need to be able to do that beyond a reasonable doubt. We need that. That's the only thing that keeps it somewhat fair, right? Somewhat just, somewhat, right? Because people still get caught up in the system and get wrecked, but at least there's that. I never thought in a million days that what's his name, O.J. Simpson would have beat that case. I never thought in a million days when he beat that case, boy, I was shocked. And I'm like, all right, the system works. If you got money, right? If you got money, you could beat a murder. You could beat that type of murder. Wow. The system works. Times are changing. Barack Obama became president. I never thought I'd live to see that. Never, ever, 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 ever. Never thought I'd live to see that. Now I saw it. So it's like, all right, times are changing. It is what it is. Not the best system, but it's the best system of all the others. So, I'm with that. I'm with that, man. But yo, I hope y'all enjoyed, this particular episode, man, because I know I did. Listen to Andrew Tate, man. Listen to Patrick Bet-David, bro. One hell of a conversation, man. One hell of a conversation. Shout out to them. Don DeMarco to Valuetainment, PBD, Andrew and Tristan Tate, Saucecast, man. Shout out to all of them, man. Shout out. So yeah, that's crazy. That's that. But I hope you guys enjoyed it, man. I'm about to wrap this up. I am going over to Black Man Unfiltered tonight. I'm going to support my brother Mandrell. I sent him that question, but he probably just came in, said hello, hit the like, and then bounced out because he was prepping for his show. So I'm gonna go over there and return the favor and make sure I show up. He's probably gonna have a panel. I'm sure I'll jump up there. Depends on who he has in the house. And then you know, we got to support each other out here, man. Thank y'all so much for y'all support. I appreciate each and every one of you. I really do. Go watch that movie Excalibur with Helen Mirren. Yeah, check that out, y'all. That was one of my favorite movies. In fact, they had a line from that movie in Ready Player One. That is like iconic, nerdum, geeky movies. One of them out there. I thought it was a great movie. Had Merlin in there, had magic, and you know, you had the lady in the lake and all kind of stuff, bro. So go check that movie. And Helen Mirren, ooh, she was fine when she was young, y'all. Ooh, I mean, she's still attractive for an old woman. We won't keep it 100. You know what I mean? But when she was young, ooh boy. So Sister Candace, thanks so much. Brother Viking, Brother Doug, you know what I mean, Brother Dino, of course, and everyone else who was here, maybe watch from the clouds, everyone who dropped in just to give a quick like, a quick thumbs up. I appreciate y'all so much, man. I am going to continue to do some uploads and all that good stuff, man. Probably jump on tomorrow. And yeah, we'll see what it do. Brother Dino wants to know if I watch the OJ case. I watched bits and pieces. I did it back in the day. You know, I was reading a lot of newspapers, just kind of keeping up with it, and I would watch whatever news stuff that came in. But I remember the verdict, bro. I was shocked. I was shocked. Brother Doug, thanks for coming through, bro. Really appreciate you as well. This was fun. This was cool. Like I said, I'll be back tomorrow. Not quite sure what we're going to talk about tomorrow, but we're going to talk about something. I'll have to do something political. We're going to talk about what's going on because I haven't done a downrange show this week yet. So let's talk about some political stuff tomorrow. Maybe we'll talk about DeSantis and Trump. We'll talk about what the Democrats are doing. They're not doing much, but, you know, we'll talk about that. We'll talk about all the rhetoric that's coming from the Trumpers. A lot of dangerous words being said by the Trumpers out there. And that's why I'm really worried about the deep fake thing. So, yeah, maybe we'll talk about that. What would happen if a deep fake did drop, you know, doing this, you know, at the end of this Trump trial, and, you know, and if he got convicted and found guilty, he's already, you know what I mean? I think that's going to happen. I just don't see a way out. I don't even think they're going to offer a deal. I don't see a way out, but we'll see. That's what we're going to talk about tomorrow. So, OJ to a hit for his kid. I didn't know that, bro. We can talk about that one day. We can talk about that one day. But I know a lot of people in Brentwood. There's people who knew firsthand accounts of what's going on. I talked to folks. Man, that case, wow. Let's just put it this way. OJ beat a 187. Put it that way, man. He beat it. He beat it. It's like, what time is Black Men Unfiltered? They start at 9 o'clock Eastern time, 8 o'clock Central. I believe that's what it is. Or maybe, yeah, I think that's what it is. They start at either, man. But if you go on Black Man Unfiltered, there's a thumbnail up. You'll see Mandrell and Shushu on there. I forget the name of the episode, but you'll find me over there tonight. I think they start in 15 minutes, or it's either 15 minutes from now or an hour and 15 minutes from now. It's one or the other, bro. They're on Central Time. Mandrell lives in the middle of the country, and in Alabama, and I forget what time between the two time zones. I get it mixed up, bro. But that's where I'm gonna be. I'm gonna jump on there and support my brother. I appreciate that, man. If I see you on there, man, definitely holla. I'll say something, especially if I jump on the panel. So that's it, guys. I'm done. I'm out of here. That was a good show. I enjoyed that one. I hope y'all enjoyed it too. I'll see y'all tomorrow. I'm DL Saint. It's the DL Saint I Really Want to Know podcast. I'm out of here.
Darn, that's the end.